Okay, now this part of this video is probably one of the most special bits of film in the history of film, because I am with the one, the only. Who are you, sir?
Peter Augustine, County Coach Developer for Surrey.
For Surrey. Go for Surrey, okay. Now we've just finished the FA Level 2 course. Yep. How would you sum it up? What would you say about the course?
I think for me it was really enjoyable because of the people who were on the course. The courses are about the people who are the coaches who are on the course, and for me it was really, really inspiring to see the messages that we're trying to transmit, the coaches taking those on and also making sense of them for themselves. That to me, the essence of the course. It's all about the coaches. It's not about us telling them what to do, but getting them to discover the things that they think that they hold dear to themselves. That's number one, and also the idea of that they can use other techniques, work with other people, and that's, I think, the strength of this course, was that the coaches really worked well together.
Now we know that the coaching courses, they've changed now. The number of years have changed compared to what you went through, because I think you said it was a bit different.
It was different, yeah. It was. I would say it was probably a lot harsher. The environment was a lot harsher, but there were messages that people wanted to get through to you over a certain period of time. Coaches were different then. Coach educators were different. Players were different. Would I say that it was better or worse? I would just say it was just different. I think what we are now, we're much more. I think we take the needs of the coach into what's what I'm looking for. We think about the coach more. We think about what their journey is. It's about them, not us as the educator. So we kind of, for me, it's more about the idea of, as we did today, what do you want to know? What things do you think you're missing? We went down that road, as opposed to saying, well, we're going to do this, this, and this. And the course allows us to do that, and I think that's what's great about it, is that we've recognised that as an organisation, that it is about the coach and not about the person who's standing at the front of the class. And it's more about more of them and less of us.
Can you remember your first coaching session?
I think there were dinosaurs flying around when I did my first coaching session. Yeah, I do remember my first coaching session. I just taken over a club. When you talk about first coaching session, you're really talking about formalised coaching, aren't you? Really. So when I formalised coaching, it was I was a player manager of a club, and I took the first session after having been a player in the team and then having to then coach the team, and I remember just thinking, well, what is it I want them to be better at? And once I knew that, it wasn't that it was easy. It was fun, and I realised that I had a bug there, and I really loved doing it. And I didn't have any qualifications at the time, so it was quite. It wasn't that it was difficult. I just did what other people had shown me before, so I knew. Some coaches made me feel a certain way, so they made me feel good. So I copied the sessions that they did, and then started to think about, well, okay, what if I did that? What if I did that? And then that's the one part of coaching that stayed with me, even though I've gone and got my qualifications, is that ability to ask myself, why am I doing this?
Why are you doing it?
Because I just love it.
You love it?
Yeah, it's just about the love.
When you coach, what kind of stands out for you?
What stands out for me as a coach, me personally?
Yeah.
I think what stands out for me is when players learn, when players are really sort of taking on the messages that you ask them to take on, and that they understand it, and watching them improve. To me, that's the biggest thing. Winning cups and stuff is a nice to have, but not every team that you play with is going to win a cup. But it's the improvement. That's what I like. Are they enjoying football and playing football? Are they enjoying your company? Are you enjoying their company? Those are the things that really stand out for me. If those things aren't there, it's never a pleasurable experience.
England, only 1966 win. Do you think, like, if the coaches, say, from the 70s and 80s been coaching the way we are now being encouraged to coach, do you think England would have been more successful results-wise, maybe not performance-wise, but results-wise, as in, do you think there would be like at least a European Championship win or World Cup?
Well, I don't know, because the point is, at the end of the day, it's about, who's coaching who. Have things changed that much? Well, the game's changed because it's got faster, but it doesn't mean to say that the methods that we're using today are necessarily going to win us a World Cup. But I think with these types of methods, where the player is at the centre of the coaching, and where the coach is looking to be a better learner, I think you can't fail to say that there will be some form of improvement. Whether or not we win a World Cup, which I hope we do, we don't know. And if we had been doing this many years ago, again, we don't know. Why? Because we have no real data yet, because it's so new. But what we do believe is that, and what we do know is this, is that the courses that have been run, we're getting fantastic feedback from those courses. So that must mean that if we're engendering a spirit of enjoyment, that we're hoping that the coaches go out and engender that same spirit in their players. And if people are enjoying something, they'll learn more.
Okay, now just one maybe last thing. Maybe a message to people who are like considering this course or a similar course. What would you say?
Get on it. Just get on it. Come along and see what's going on. Don't listen to anybody else. Just come along and experience it for yourself. And I'm sure that you'll have a pleasurable experience. And I think that's the thing, is don't listen to what people say. Come along, see it for yourself, and then make your own judgments.
I've actually thought of one more thing.
Go on.
That's me, Daniel. I do this after that was meant to be the last question. How important are coaches?
I'd like to say, it's really important, and they're the most important thing in the world. I think coaches have two jobs. They can either, or can do two things, shall I say. They can either make football pleasurable, or they can make it miserable. And I think that it's important that coaches understand why young people come to their coaching sessions. They come to have fun. And if the coaches can engender that sense of fun, then coaching and coaches are important. If they don't engender that, then they're not important. They're not important at all. So it depends on how the coach behaves. If the coach behaves in the correct way, then they are important. They're an important factor for learning. But they're not the only factor. They are one of the factors for learning. And I think if we understand that, we'll go a long way to producing better players.
Thank you very much. That was the last question. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.